Well, friends, today is a big day. We are going to hit the road to pick up a bundle of homegrown pasture-raised chickens, along with 15 dozen locally raised eggs, grown eggs, however you word that. And then we're gonna go to the other end of the county and pick up a full cow. You know that in my 2024 Use It Up Freezer and Pantry Challenge, we have been using up all the parts of the remaining cow, the last cow that I bought, even down to the oxtail. I do still have the tongue in the freezer. I do still have 3 bags of bones of like very random odds and ends cuts. I have whatever that steak, it's not a steak cut. I'm not sure how to say it. It's Ossobucco. Dyslexic with me, say the word, okay, I'm gonna do it. But anyway, that cut is a leg cut. I have cooked through it a few times this summer. And then it has the bone marrow piece in the middle. And so I've baked that cut up and have eaten the bone marrow, and we've enjoyed that as well. I have a few packs of that. And I make that comment about dyslexic because I'm sure that I am, and whenever I encounter a new word, I don't always know how to tackle it, even at 45, but that's okay because I'm still making it through life. Okay, so hit the road with me now. We're gonna go to J&L Green Farm, pick up our chicken bundle and our egg bundle. The 15 dozen eggs, I believe, was about $85. And we do go through a lot of eggs around here, but I would like to start getting egg bundles. I know Azure Standard, and yes, I have my first Azure Standard order, and over a year, coming in here in a few days, I know they also have a similarly priced egg bundle, but I didn't get eggs with them this time. Hello, dishes in the sink. I know what some afternoon chores are gonna be. Didn't get them this time because I put off picking up this chicken and egg bundle because of life, and here we are finally doing it. So then we're gonna drive to the other end of the county and go to Red Banks Farm and pick up our full cow. And by the end of this video, you will see all of this meat, and I will give you updated freezer, refrigerators type tours. And I don't know what this means, but hey, that can be our new dance move, so let's hit the road. Be sure to click the first link in the description below to get all 70 plus of my best-selling meal guides and so much more in one big, happy, mega, we're calling it the humongous bundle. It's over 90% off. And also for a limited time, you get the free special bonus of my brand new Mega Mama's Cooking Club double bundle guides. Plus you get my 4-week Gentle Freezer Cooking Challenge course. That's a $99 value for absolutely free whenever you purchase the humongous Pulling Real Life Together bundle. And we need to pull so much life together, so why not have all of this extra help for over 90% off? Yay. Alrighty, so here's their sweet little store, and they left everything for me under these freezer blankets because they had a meeting. But this is where you can come in and get your farm-raised meats here locally. And of course, we're just taking home a whole bundle of chickens. Okay, yay. So here's our boxes of birds, and then there's our 15 dozen eggs. And now I am just running back and forth, and I wish it really was that fast, but I am loading the chicken boxes and the 15 dozen eggs in the minivan. Okay, so here's the reality of leaving a cooler outside that got played in. This is just dirt, but yay, that's fun. But hey, that's okay, we deal with it. So I don't have too far to get home. I just tried to get some of the things in coolers and we dropped them off at the house. Then we went to the other side of the next door county and we went to Red Banks Farm where we bought our full cow this year. And this is some of their homemade tallow that they have that they sell. And they had some coffee and some maple syrup and some local honey. So I was just seeing what they had available. And then I was also looking in their refrigerator cases. They had hot dogs and eggs and other pieces. That's some of their retail prices. And that's their beef cut poster that they have
hanging up, and I just like to look at it. And so here, this is another great place to come, just like J&L Green Farm, where I got the chicken and where I've bought whole hogs and whole cows many times. I like to visit other farms and other farm stores and just see how these different locations operate. So at Red Banks, they also had cooler areas where you could buy different beef cuts. I believe they also had some chicken cuts in there and some pork as well, and some sausage. You'll have to zoom in close and look with me, but they just had a variety of pieces. And so whenever I ran out of my grass-fed, locally grown cow pieces, if I wasn't able, hey, look at that. Let's get distracted for a minute. Look, that's a bag of bones that you can walk in and buy in their store. There you go, big pot of bone broth. Whenever I am able, if I'm in between buying whole animals, I could come into one of these local farm stores and fill in the gaps on some meat at that time. Hey, options. Okay, this cooler's in a better state, but this is gonna be full of a cow here in a minute. Okay, friends, so here we go. This is our full cow and a nice little farm dog walking by. But there we go. So let's just work on getting that in a minivan. Okay, so do you wanna see how you fit a full cow in a minivan? Whole lot of beef fat, whole lot of tallow. Don't worry, we are heading straight home. So here's a look at the full counter, and actually we have even more that we're gonna put on top of this. You're gonna see that here in just a few seconds. But here's a look at almost a full cow out on my 12-foot island. But again, oops, I forgot a whole other cooler to unload. You'll see that in a minute. And there's the chickens.
Well, this is definitely a different kind of grocery haul. But look at us, friends, we're doing things. This is a whole cow, plus the bones and the fat, like almost the whole cow. I didn't get the skull, but I got all I could, okay? Here on the counter, plus boxes of chicken and eggs. So let's look at all this and break down the prices and get it in the freezers and do some things. Okay, wait, I thought I was ready to film this, but there's a whole other giant cooler of meat we missed. So yeah, I was looking at the island and I was saying, where's all the burger patties? And I came and opened this big cooler and we just didn't unload this yet. So hold on a minute. Okay, here's the update. So we filled another 30-quart bowl overflowing of ground beef and then another smaller bowl there because I was looking around. I was like, where's all the patties? Because I'd never actually had like patties done before. And they asked me and I was like, sure, yeah, we can give it a shot. Give us some patties. So I think we got 30 pounds of patties there. And then there were a whole lot more cuts. And so yeah, check the extra coolers. And look at us. So while we're also pulling all of this massive meat together, go ahead and click the first link in the description below to get my fantastic, humongous Pulling Real Life Together 70+ product bundle. That includes the special bonus of both Mega Mama's Cooking Club guides, plus my 4-week Gentle Freezer Cooking Challenge course for only $99. Those are both a free special bonus whenever you purchase the humongous Pulling Real Life Together 70+ product bundle for over 90% off. You will save a whole lot of time, money, and a whole lot of Mega Mama sanity when you are feeding your family using my best-selling, crowd-pleasing meal guides. You get hundreds and hundreds of pages of printable, big batch goodness. This includes all of my big batch freezer meal guides, my big batch meal plans. You have many products such as my 30 easy freezer meal guides, massive meal prep guides, and so much more. It's also almost holiday time. How did that happen? So included is Make Ahead Holiday Mega Meals to Feed a Crowd, Easy and Frugal Make Ahead and Freeze Cookie Baking Guides, some of my absolute favorite, and I'm going to need to do this soon, the way life is going for sure, my one for now, one for later freezer meal collection guides. We got all 3 skillet dinners made easy guides. There's guides on low carb and sugar-free desserts. There's massive lasagna and ziti making guide. These are all favorites. Also included is 10 healthy and satisfying salads in jars, mega muffins, slow cooker dinners, frugal baking from scratch baking guides,
electric pressure cooker meal plans, make ahead and freeze holiday cookies, all 24 of my very popular big batch freezer meal guides, including freezer cooking guides for breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, specialty diets, and so much more. And the great thing about my big batch freezer meal guides is you can do a guide and end up with 40 meals in your freezer, but many of them also have special edition smallish big batch guides, where if you want to have a big batch that would be a big batch for a normal person, not just Jamerrill, you can follow the bonus smallish big batch guide. And with that, you can end up with very sensible 10 to 15 meals for your freezer. So again, go to the first link in the description below to get all 70 plus best-selling products and so much more for over 90% off, plus my free special bonuses during this sale, which include my brand new Mega Mamas Cooking Club and my 4-week Gentle Feeding My Freezer Cooking Challenge Guide, and special 6 videos that come with that. Click the first link in the description below. Yay!
So, the ground beef that I got is in 2-pound rolls. I've had it done before, I believe, in the 5-pound squares, which also makes sense for how I cook. I've also had it where I bought the whole cow. I asked for ground beef. I just didn't get choices in like how it was packaged, and I got the 1-pound packs, and you've seen a lot of that also. So I just kind of went almost in the middle and said, let's just do 2 pounds this time, because a lot of times I will be cooking with 2 of these. Okay. So ground beef for days. We have 4 30-quart bowls, and then we have this probably 15-quart bowl full. Ground beef glory. Yes, it is. And then, so I don't have my cut sheet. They took that, and at that moment I was like, oh, I should probably get a copy of that. We obviously have a ton of different roasts and cuts. Like here's a beef chuck roast, 4.19 pounds. And what my math ends up being with all of this is around $6 a pound. And the advantage, if you can do a quarter of a cow, a half a cow, or a whole cow, if you're feeding 57 people every day, haha, is that the more you buy, the less the price per pound. So you're able to, I know over there's some filet mignon. I know there's every kind of steak you would want. Right here is ribeyes. Boy, farm-grown ribeye, I think we're talking $12 to $18 a pound. I mean, it ain't $6 a pound if you go to buy it at Walmart, right? And so I was able, though, of course, to get a full cow up front, but just saying the cost breakdown, it's a nice per pound price. Here's some beef filet mignon steak. That's 1.2 pounds. Here we have some New York strip steaks. And then down here, beef shoulder roast, 3.45 pounds. We do have beef soup bones, and those are the ones with the marrow that I was talking about in another video. Lots of little packs of those. I have another shoulder roast down here, 3.8 pounds. We also have these packs. I believe the stew meat is in roughly 2-pound packs as well. And then down here, as an example, here's a chuck roast, 3.26 pounds. Now, I do love tallow. It's a whole thing. And so I did ask for the fat. I know before when I bought whole cows, I asked for the bones, and I do have 2 bags of bones over there. I'm going to need to repackage those. Another time I'll need to ask for the bones to be like in packs like this. That's how I've received them before. That's not a huge thing, because this is a phenomenal price per pound for the cow. But I probably have, let's see, this is 29 pounds of tallow. No, yes, 29 pounds, 25, 27, 11, 26, another 25. So, 2, 3, 4, yeah, about 130-ish or so pounds of tallow. We'll definitely be rendering down some tallow. Here's, as an example, a beef sirloin steak, 1.69 pounds. I have 5 packs of beef liver. Here's some more boneless ribeye steak, 3.46 pounds, another pack of stew meat. Here is a beef sirloin tip roast, 2.59 pounds. We have lots, I'll just say lots, many packs of beef sirloin steak. This is 1.47 pounds. Down here is some more ribeye, 3.34 pounds. Also, we've got a humongous brisket. This is 9.23 pounds, so that'll be a fun adventure. Oh, let's see, this is probably, okay, wow, the beef heart. Got the whole heart there, that'll be cool science. More roast, more stew meat, several chuck roasts down here. And then here's how the patties came packaged. And again, they asked me if I wanted patties, and I've never had that option to get patties before. And I just wasn't sure how many pounds to put into patties. But we have done, you've seen so many sheet pan burgers this past summer. I'm like, maybe I should have even had more patties done. But anyway, I did 30 pounds. They probably could have done as much of that ground beef as I wanted in patties. So that's something I'll consider next time. Here's more soup bones, another 7.35 pound brisket down here. More stew meat. Several more chuck roasts. I think I probably have 6 or 7 chuck roasts. So a whole wonderful smorgasbord here of a whole entire cow that I'm going to work on cooking through most days for at least 10 folks. So we will go through this. I know when I've bought a whole cow in the past, it seems like we're through the bulk of it within about 8 months. Now you've seen in my 2024 Use It Up Freezer and Pantry Challenge videos that we were still going through the ribs. You know, I don't have any ribs here. I'm not seeing ribs. So much of that probably got turned into ground beef, which is fine. I do have like 3 packs of ribs left, and I did ribs last night. And I do have 3 bags of soup bones. So I'm in a good position if we're bartering with soup bones. I got them. We're going to definitely continue on with the soup bones. This is yet another cow tongue, and I already have one in my freezer. So I have 2 cow tongues now to work with. Got some more beef liver here, more steak, a shoulder roast. So I'm expecting about 8 months or so. Ground beef, you know, I fly through that. I've got maybe 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds of ground bison in my freezer. I cook a lot, I feed a lot of people. So continuing on with that, I also, from another farm, so the whole cow is from Red Banks Farm in Dayton, Virginia, and I got 4 boxes of chickens. I think I've got about 16 chickens or so in here. We got our pasture-raised chickens this fall from J&L Green Farm in Edinburgh, Virginia, and I have bought whole cows from them before, whole hogs, whole chickens. I don't think I've done turkeys. They're really well known locally for their turkeys, and I will do some turkeys this year because we sure didn't raise them. And I also, just for fun, I got this pack of gluten-free dinner rolls for my gluten-free folks to try. And what do they have? Anyway, I just got 1 pack of those. But each of these boxes are full of whole chickens. So chicken broth, chicken everything. We're in the chicken. And then I also, so I'm going to try to go back to pasture-raised eggs. I'm so thankful for Walmart eggs, and if I buy them again in a week, that's just fine. But I bought a box of 15 dozen pasture-raised eggs. Some are from J&L Green Farm, some are from another local farm named Edgewood Family Farms that's also in our area that I've also talked to about full cows and different animal options. And so now I'll break down more of the pricing for you. Looks like the cow was 1,400 pounds. The day it got on the trailer, it says live weight or rail weight was $2.90 a pail. Fetch a pail of water, right? A pound. So 1,400 pounds. Anyway, that came to $2,520. And then we get into, there's a real weight. I think she was explaining that that's when it comes back to them, butchered, skins off, those kind of things, ready to be broken down, was 877 pounds. Then there's okay, so we got 2 receipts here, okay. Slaughter transport, $110, 20 pounds of stew meat, $16, organs, $21, and then the price for the patties, I guess I paid an extra, maybe $135 a patty. Anyway, it was 570 pounds finished weight, not including the fat and the bones. So all of this is 570 pounds out here. And whenever, so I have a receipt for the processing and such was $932, and then the actual cow was $25.20. And I'm gonna do my math, and you all can race me. So we got $25.20 plus $932, so that's $34.52 for the full cow experience, divided by 570 pounds, comes to $6.05 a pound for all the cuts. And again, if I really wanted to add in the fat and the bones, I'm sure that would bring that down some more. But the 130 pounds of fat and whatever those bones weigh, probably another 50 or more pounds, is not included in the finished 570 pound weight. So let's just say it takes me 8 months to work through the 570 pounds, not including, again, the fat and the bones. It's about 71 pounds a month times our 605, so roughly $431-ish a month for the farm-raised beef that I'm going to be feeding 10 or more folks. Break it down further, if we're doing a weekly grocery budget, we can say $100 a week in beef, which doesn't go far. Okay, so that's my full cow experience. Now for my eggs, it was $82 for 15 dozen. And then my chickens, hold on here. Okay, and I paid $520 for my chickens. It's been a while since I've done a bundle of whole chickens. Of course, I raised my own, butchered them, and home canned them and all of that. So just keep watching the videos and we'll see how long it takes for us to go through all of those. So of course, this was a huge September 2024 investment in this whole cow and a flock of chickens and the 15 dozen eggs. But this will definitely get us going again after our 2024 Use It Up Freezer and Pantry Challenge. And now to put all of this away, and I'll give you tours of all the freezers and all of those adventures. Well, friends, we got a full cow in the freezers and those chickens and all those other adventures. The other day after we ran to both ends, one county and to the other end of my county, to pick up all of that farm-raised meat, and I shared it with you all. And then my kids and folks helped me get it into downstairs freezers, which I'm gonna give you a detailed tour of. And then we had an outing that evening. So here we are now. I've taken some time over the last 2 or 3 days to reorganize my freezers. And if you've been following along, I've been doing my 2024 Summer Use It Up Freezer and Pantry Challenge. And we worked through a good bit of things that I have in my freezers. I'll show you what is left from that. And I'm gonna show you where all the new meat has a home, as well as share about many other fun upcoming adventures that are gonna happen in these freezers. And so this freezer, of course, I used it to jam tomatoes for my big several hundred-pound tomato project that I'm also in the middle of spinning right now. Those tomatoes are out of here. I've been calling this my breakfast freezer meal freezer. It also houses other projects. There's no meat in here, but just also giving you a freezer tour. So these are some different breakfast freezer meal casseroles, freezer meal burritos, and a few of those freezer meal breakfast sandwiches we made with those sourdough bagels. And then down here, other upcoming projects. I do have many, probably have 6-gallon freezer bags of homegrown peppers that I got in the freezer last summer before my life blew up. Didn't even register that they were in here. I could have easily thrown this in some fajitas or spaghetti sauce or chili or whatever, but I see them now. Definitely you know, that's what the freezer and pantry challenge does. I got them, so we'll be using those in weeks coming up. I also have a lot of apple scraps still left. Back through my history, my freezer history, I saved all my apple scraps because I think I was thinking I was going to use them for apple cider vinegar, and we still have those grapes. We'll get there. And then we've got some different freezer fruit breads. But this freezer, I mean, we've got 2 empty shelves and some empty door space, so that's great. And then this I have called my freezer meal freezer, and I love to keep this bad boy stocked up with dinner and easy lunch freezer meals. So we have used so many of the meals that were in here. I mean, you'll see there's one thing left. Also, a few days ago, I took all of the meals. Let's see, I had, yeah, I was gonna say, I'm counting. What I'm stuttering around trying to say is, remember here recently, I had got a bunch of the foil pans and we made a nice stack of meals for 2 different families. I delivered those meals the other day, and I also gave each family one of the chickens from the chicken bundle that I got. Both families have different stuff going on, sickness, lost hours, things, life, stuff. Take a chicken, have some meals, it's what we can do. So in this freezer right now, hey, guess who's gonna have big freezer cooking days coming up? I have 1 bag of that delicious garden fried rice left for my own family, and so that's just gonna sit there and like it. We're gonna use it soon. I have 2 bags full of bones from the full cow that we bought, and we are going to rebag those into my 2.5 gallon freezer bags that I found. I'm so proud of us. This was the time we needed to do that. So that's one of the projects we're gonna work on. And then this freezer, as we have labeled, is the fruit and veggie freezer. And we used so many of those fruits and veggies up this summer. I really just, up on this top shelf, I've got some cauliflower rice and some okra and some spinach, like for some Trim Healthy Mama type recipes. More cauliflower rice, my bag of the mixed vegetables that I like from Costco. So what is mainly happening in here is I've put all my good cooking fats in here for now. The tallow, and then I do have a couple bags of, this is pork fat for us to do lard with that we hadn't got to, but hey, look, we're doing things now. So I have all of this fat rendering projects going down. I was talking to some friends the other day with a Mennonite Heritage, and they were just giving me tips on rendering down the pork fat. So that'll be coming, and that'll be great. But this is our 130 or so pounds of the pork, not the pork, the beef. The beef, this is like 29.48 pounds. When I did the math the other day, it was about 130 pounds or so. That's just gonna stay there and like it. And then, so the ground beef that we got from the full cow is in the 2-pound rolls. This is just the overflow of what would not fit in the beef freezer. So yay, freezer and pantry challenge. I mean, that was the point of using it up. I think we've gone about 12 weeks or so in that. And so also I'll show you over here, you know, I had lots of various bread products over here, and I had several bags of these bagels that we got from 99 cents for Sharp Shopper. I've got 3 of those left. I've got 1 of our Ezekiel English muffins, and I do have some family folks that really like these, so I keep us in those. And in my Azure order that should be here in a few days, my first one in well over a year, I'm pretty sure I got a case of those. And then I have 3 loaves of various Ezekiel bread, like regular sesame, and then we have cinnamon raisin, and then I think we just have, yeah, 7 sprouted grains with oats. And then I've got my little emergency stack here of freezer peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I did send a dozen of those upstairs. We do have a field trip fun thing tomorrow, and so I set them out. So sandwiches are made, and we will throw some fruit with it, how we do. And then in the bottom of this refrigerator, I mean, there's really nothing in here except I got 4 yellow squash and probably 5 zucchinis. These are from, this one got, I didn't pick it in the morning, it got picked in the evening, so it got a little bigger. And sometimes when people see my empty freezers or refrigerators, they're like, well, why do you have them? Well, as you watch my videos, you'll see we continue to spend multiple massive food preservation and food prep and freezer meal and so many big volume food projects that even though, I mean, this is my refrigerator from my first house from like 27 years ago now or so, probably, yeah, long time in my history. It's still going. It's a GE. You probably can't buy anything these days that's gonna last you. I bet I'm gonna get 30 years out of this thing. So no shame in my mama game for keeping this thing a running. It's collected various bumper stickers over the years, and as I get, you know, rolling through watermelon, rolling through 40 pounds of cherries, rolling through projects, this is super helpful. And then over here, this is where we will store extra eggs. We got some sour cream in here, some ricotta, 1 thing of Greek yogurt. I did have 120 eggs from a Walmart pickup order, and then we picked up our 15 dozen of our pasture-raised eggs. So I'm just gonna I'm trying to continue to do more little things that add up to big things over time as I can. So right now I'm trying to switch to pasture-raised eggs. I'm thankful for these Walmart boxes of eggs. They have always helped me, and they've definitely helped me over this past year of wildness. And so now I just feel like I can get pasture-raised eggs. We can make that happen. Also, I switched back to through my local John Henry General store. I've been ordering gallon whole milk from a local creamery that I pick up once a week or every other week there. I did 7 gallons last time, which we are easily a gallon a day family. And then a week went by, we're out of milk. And so I messaged the John Henry General Store the other day, and they put in an order for milk for me. But lots of room in this one for upcoming projects. Like you know, I haven't been doing my big once-a-month grocery shopping hauls. When I do those, these also, in addition to food projects, fill up quickly. But, okay, and in here, we're pretty much empty. We have some popsicle wrappers and some, I like it when I take meals to people, I'll put these big blocks, or like when we camp, or when we take food, I'll take those. So I've got a couple of those in there. Let's see if I can close it now. And then, okay, so this one, I've got 8 loaves of sourdough bread that have been doing their long ferment in there. Another video I'm working on for you guys, we'll be baking those. I have 2 watermelons from the community garden in there. I think I have a third. And then in this refrigerator, which I definitely need to clean out, I've got a third watermelon from the community garden, and I have a box of peppers and a couple eggplants. And I do plan to do another eggplant lasagna because I got some folks who really enjoy that. And I want to also chop down and use those peppers coming up. And this refrigerator came with this house. So there's a story, and many of you can tell it, but just in case you're new, so this one came with this house. This one I got back at the Forest House, the house before this one. It was on 13 acres in the wilderness. As I started to produce more big batch freezer meal cooking guides and do more recipe development and make all these big meals to feed my family and make content in and about these internet webs, I got this as an extra garage freezer. So at that house I had refrigerator in the kitchen, I had 2 refrigerators in the garage, and I went from 1 freezer to 2 freezers. Things have grown over time. And then this refrigerator is the one that we bought for the baby kitchen in this original house, the original 1963 kitchen, and it fit perfectly in that kitchen, and now it helps me with extra food spinning. So then this is the pork and chicken freezer. And again, if you've been following along on my freezer and pantry cooking challenge this summer, you know we've used a lot of things in here. I did restock the butter, I think, twice, and I believe in my Azure order this coming week, I've got a big box of butter coming. So we restocked the butter. We continue to work through my lunch meat deals. I just brought like 4 packs up yesterday, but I still have this drawer full of various turkey breast lunch meat deals, and this is like chicken breast that was $2.99 at Sharp Shopper. So that's just amazing. And I just like to organize as I go. I like for everything to be in these little drawers if they can. I don't think that'll fit. Anyway, up at the top, I still have some uncured bacon and a couple hams. We haven't got to any of that. And I have a ham bone there. Besides that, okay, and then down at the bottom, we do still have some miscellaneous fish, tilapia, and some catfish. I think I have some, I saw someone bring up and bake up the salmon the other day. So the salmon that was down there is done. But we have, let's see, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, I've got 20 chickens here. I passed 2 on to 2 friends. and I have 2 upstairs defrosting that I was gonna bake in my big Dutch oven. So I know I bought a chicken bundle, and I was saying somewhere to, I got 15 to 20. I must have got 20 to 26-ish, which brings down the cost of the bird even more, which is nice. I shoulda, coulda, woulda the other night taken each chicken out of the boxes and counted how many. I know many boxes said things like ×4 or ×6. So there's my chicken math. But anyway, that's where the pasture-raised chickens are. In years past, where I have homegrown, home-raised, home-butchered, and froze my chickens, and then later we used them from the freezer or canned them, they would go in a freezer just like this. So now I'll show you how the beef freezer has turned out. All right, so a whole lot's going on in this beef freezer. So we have a whole door full of this ground beef, and these are 2-pound rolls, and then we have that basket of ground beef, and there's some more there. I've got some big briskets at the top. We have some stew meat cuts. We have some soup bone cuts, which are usually that leg bone cut that we can use. I know I have some oxtails in here. I actually want to cook those pretty soon because I've been enjoying some different things I've been cooking up with the oxtails. We do have, there's the beef heart. We have sirloin, we have ribeye, we have a sirloin, we have several sirloin tip roast, we have some beef liver. We just have a whole cow in here. Plus we have the overflow of this cow, whoop, down here with the rest of this ground beef. And then again, we have the fat, and we're still going to get to rebagging those bones. Everything is in here lovely. We also, as I showed you something new, we have the ground beef patties. And so through the weeks, through the months, we are going to be cooking through these. I do have, there's 3 bags of bones left from the cow before this one, and we'll be using those in cooking projects as well. But I am proud of us. This freezer looks pretty nice and snazzy. And of course, the question that I get often is, how long does it take a large family to go through a full cow? I'm saying it takes us 6 to 8 months. I'm not counting the straggly pieces that I had towards the end, like again, the bones, the broth bones or the soup bones, and a few odds and ends roasts, the cuts, the ribs, things that we worked through this summer. But I would have gone through those a year ago again when life blew up. When life blew up, we lived off of the freezer meals I had stocked in here. And then I had a couple months last fall where I was just relying on chicken nuggets and Stouffer's lasagnas and freezer meals that Walmart could put in my car for me. And that's okay too, mamas, when you get in a season like that. So I would have had the last bits of that cow used up over a year ago, but summer 2024 we did it. But I think realistically, like with this full cow, within 6 to 8 months. It's 570 pounds of meat plus the 130 some pounds of broth, and then we are going to rebag these bones. I'm sorry, I said 130 pounds of broth. The 130 pounds of fat, and then the bones that we will be using for broth and other adventures. So I'm giving us 6 to 8 months. I can see definitely actively using it going through 2 cows a year. These chickens, I'm thinking 2 to 3 months, tops, probably closer to 2. I also am reaching out locally to look for some lamb and such to rotate through as well. So again, stick with me. We'll see what cooking adventures come about for us.
And so here we are going to work through getting these bones from this cow. So many various bones and different little meat pieces held onto them and joints and all kinds of adventures. So I just continue to load them as best I could into my 2.5 gallon bags. I was so thankful I found those bags. I believe I actually got those at Dollar Tree a little bit ago, and they were in my pantry room. and I saw them and I thought, okay, this is their destiny. I have been waiting. I didn't know that they were destined to hold full cow bones, but look at this. This is their purpose. And so we got several bags full of bones, and we will just take this one beef bone broth project at a time, and slowly over the coming months get those bones used up as well. It just makes delicious broth. I'm proud of us for doing it.
All right, I just realized both of these bags of the bones that I got have weight on them. So this one bag we just unloaded here was 28.15 pounds. And then this other bag we're about to do is 20.46 pounds. So we can say just under 50 pounds of bones. And then again, it was the just over 130 pounds of fat is in addition to the 570 pounds of meat. And that per pound weight price of the actual meat I brought home was right around $6 a pound. And I have other cows I've bought other places paid about $8 or so a pound. It just depends. But still, for me, like the meat at Walmart, grocery store meat is, I mean, it can be $5 a pound or more. And the ground bison at Sharp Shopper, which is a phenomenal deal, has been $4.99 a pound. And that's a great price too. So all of this is meat I'd like to spend my money on for my family, for our bodies, for all of our good healing and good things in life. When I have the capacity to do it, I like to give my money to local farmers and ultimately raise our own, right? That is the dream. And this is very nice, a very nice place to be, to even emotionally and mentally being able to just get joy out of repacking bones. Very nice, and I'm thankful. It's 2 more pounds. And what we'll do when we do our broth, we'll just take, you know, a big pot per roaster oven probably. Stick around, we'll see how it all works out. We got 1 to 2 more bags full. I don't know if this will fit in my door, maybe. There we go. That's nice, nice bones. Got some big pieces here. Okay, we used up all of those. I was so happy when I found those. Oh, and I know recently a question that has come in. Someone just asked me why I have not been using my freeze dryer. Did I find that it wasn't worth it? And it's not at all that my big freeze dryer has not been worth it. It's just I've lived in an emergency. I've been living through it and getting through it, and it has been over a year now. And as I was just sharing, you know, it's major survival mode, and you all have watched me slowly continue to climb out of it. And so one of the things on my list is to fire up the freeze dryer again, and I will continue to talk about it in upcoming videos, and at some point in some video we will have turned it on again. That would be very nice. I wanted to do that with the squash and zucchini from the community garden, but I've kept it in the fridge and I just keep using it. Okay. Still got room in that one. Okay, so I feel like the grand bone finale. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 bags of bones from the cow we just picked up the other day from Red Banks Farm, and the fat is in here, and the overflow of ground beef. I am so glad that we did this. I ordered this cow earlier this summer and I had to keep rescheduling pickup for a couple weeks, and they worked with me because I had to just continue to squirrel some things around in my freezers. But look at us, we're doing it. So now we're gonna go upstairs. I've got the 2 chickens from J&L Green Farm. We're gonna get those prepped and ready and in my big Dutch oven and in the oven for dinner. Look at this. We're gonna also, fingers crossed, cut up some more zucchini and squash and do some sheet pan so you can see zucchini and squash. And also we've got some corn shucked we're gonna get boiling, and of course we have some watermelon. Yay.
So here is a look now at all the finished unloading, loaded freezers. We have our beef freezer here with our various soup bones and steak cuts and roast, and those have been so delicious. There's some stew meat, and they're just stacked in there, but we will be rolling through it. Some people have asked me when they've seen my whole cow purchases before why the labels say not for sale, and that just means individual sale. All of this was one whole animal that I purchased. So whenever they have the individual cuts in their farm stores, these are individual sales, and I'm not sure how all the sales rules work, but because I bought one full animal, that's why it's labeled that way. There's my little silly ground beef basket. So I have a whole door full of ground beef. There you go, beef freezer. Now we are going to look in the pork and chicken freezer. This is just the best way as a large family mama with all these humans. I could organize this, and I've learned to organize it over the years. So here are our full chickens. Now they do take up several shelves, but we are rolling through these chickens. I'm about to show you whenever I cook 2 in my large Dutch oven. And I have been doing that once or twice a week. So I think, again, probably by late October, I'm gonna need to get another chicken bundle because, again, it's good, healthy, whole foods for my family. It's something everyone enjoys. And it's honestly a pretty quick meal for me to throw together, and anything I can throw together that everyone will eat. That's just fantastic. So I was using the vegetables I had on hand. I had not picked up my big 25 to 50 pound bag. I think it was 25-pound bag, not sure, of potatoes from the John Henry General Store yet, but I did have some organic carrots left. So we put those under the chickens. Then I did have some organic celery, so we shoved that in the chickens, and I believe I did a whole onion that I chopped up inside each one as well. And we just did that for flavor, and then later we're going to cook these and do a bunch of chicken broth using the vegetables and also the chicken carcasses. Obviously, my folks can eat the cooked carrots and celery whenever they have their chicken as well. I would have loved to have had some potatoes in that pot, but it turned out beautifully and a good way to use up those vegetables too. Now my pot is so big, it is a 16 quart, that I try to get it in there, leaving one rack in, and I just had to go ahead and take it out and put it at the very bottom. But there it is in all its beauty with that lid. That is my fancy French pot, and every mama should have a fancy French pot that she can use almost every day for years and years. I think I've had that for 2 years now. And then there's our corn that we shucked the other day. There's my refrigerator in all of its glory with all of its pictures. And look at us, we are getting down my little bread baking pot right there. And we're gonna do a loaf of sourdough. Who are we? But that is sourdough I had already prepped, and it had done its second ferment. It was ready to go. I'm putting the pot in the oven now to let it heat up. It heats at about 500 degrees or so. And I'm getting my little sourdough loaf ready and scoring it. I love us when we're like this, okay? I love us all the time, but I love us when this is who we are. And you just saw my very old, probably 13-year-old cat Friendly walk through. And look, I'm just so proud of us on this day. This is all the frozen tomatoes. It doesn't mean that everything goes gloriously, and this is what everyday life looks like, okay? But on this day, at this moment, we are getting our frozen tomatoes in 3 different roaster ovens and letting them start to cook down for sauce. And those tomatoes, they've been bossing us, and they're just going to boss us some more on some other days. But at least you can see the beginning of the process here. And then we are going to continue working on our dinner for this night. So I am pulling out the sourdough, removing the top lid. We're going to let that go for about 20 more minutes, and I am just checking my internal temperature on my roasting chicken there. And boy, this has just become such a favorite meal. This is the first time I did this 2 chickens at a time in that pot. And I mean, it was all gone. It was all gone that night. Like, it was chicken carcasses left the following day. Okay, well, this looks beautiful. I know it's a wind tunnel in here. The chickens are getting really close, a few more minutes. And so now the corn is boiling, the sourdough bread is coming out. I am going to drain the corn, and we will have that with our big chicken dinner tonight. I guess maybe I need to do 3 chickens at a time. But again, when you just find something everybody likes, it's a win, mama, it's a win. So I'm getting my corn stacked out. We will have that with some Redmond salt and some butter, moving my canners out of the way from a busy week of getting some projects done here and there. And there's the sourdough, and it looks so lovely. And really, I should let it cool a little longer, but dinner's a-coming, time's marching on, and so we're gonna have some piping hot sourdough. I like to let it cool longer, but that's okay. No one complained, and that whole roll of sourdough was gone with that one meal. Fast, quick, and in a hurry. There's our chickens. They are so very beautiful. And again, they picked them clean so quick. And don't forget, friends, along with all of this massive meat and all the mega cooking adventures coming up, that for a very limited time, you can get my humongous Pulling Real Life Together 70 product bundle that includes so mega much for over 90% off. Plus, as a free added bonus, you get my 4-week Gentle Freezer Cooking Challenge course. That's a $99 value. That includes 6 real-life mama Gentle Freezer Cooking videos led by yours truly, the official 4-week Gentle Freezer Cooking Challenge guide pack, which takes you step by step through each Gentle Freezer Cooking day. You get family breakfast, lunches, healthy snacks, chicken dinners, beef dinners, and you will gently fill your freezer over 4 weeks. That's a really fun freezer cooking course, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you real soon with another brand new video, and click that first link in the description below.